Good morning and welcome back to another episode on the Coin King channel. I am your host, Down to Crypto TA. Look at Biddy. Will you look at Biddy? All right. So we got what we were looking for yesterday. We did do it early, on the call over here. So where it actually hits at, it's going to be a slight. I ended up entering the position. I posted on, me. I did a couple of posts yesterday, but we didn't quite tap the trend line, which is okay. You just have to know exactly when to enter. But we got all the way down here close enough to it. After the second move back into it, that's when I took the entry on it there, instead of waiting for a perfect tap. You just got to know. Okay. So I've already closed out this position here. I posted that yesterday. I posted the first time I took some profit, and I posted when I closed out this position right here. So I actually just screwed up a little bit, right? So I'm looking at this situation right here. We're moving. We're diverging right now. We got a little bit of bear div in here. Now it can be omitted, but we do have some bearish divergence in here. So I went to take a short in this little range right here, and I ended up adding to my short that was up here, and in that move my entry all the way down to here, and I was like, Gah! I thought I was on my other sub account and I wasn't, so I might get stopped out. It was so, gosh. And it was a smaller account. So my other account is a smaller account, and I was like, put 25% on that. And then I looked at it and I was like, what the heck? So yeah, I'm in a little bit of a pickle right now because that totally moved me. And I only had, like, I don't know, maybe 10% or less left in the short that I took from up here. So when I added that 25% of my capital into it, that sucker said, boom, you're in down here. So I closed out. I actually went in and I closed out about 70% of the position. Yeah, it's coming up for me now. So I probably end up getting stopped out. I tried to compensate for what I can see as a bear deal, but I can't keep moving my stop on. I gotta leave it where it is, because once it gets me, it's just gonna be have to look for another position, because it can move, it can move up with the bear divs and it won't make a difference. So that is what it is. Is what it is. I'm just gonna end up switching my account over. But anyway, Bitcoin. Now the larger position is still playing, which I do still have going. But the one from yesterday is the one that I closed out. I do still have my larger position going. The one that was actually from the one that I mentioned to you that was right in here. So when price came down to this one right here, because we had a second entry set up, but I had it set on this line right here. But since I was already in, it was only like $1 and some change, like $1.30, something like that, off from hitting me. I didn't bother to take that entry there, because the entry was this. This was the entry right here. And when I did the video, for this, I mentioned that the 618 was here, and that the standard deviation one was right here. So 1.618, I'm sorry, 1.618 and standard deviation were both, tapped perfectly. But I put the position here because I wanted to see some liquidity. But it was so close to my entry that I just left that one open. And this was the other one right here. So left this one on the chart instead. But this one is still going. And it's designed to get up here to around where I had took the short at anyway. Which, yeah, we're in the 786 right now. 786. Golden pocket is slightly down here below the PDH, previous day high. So we'll see how we do right here, if this is going to be a rejection, since it is some weakness in the 15-minute time frame. I'm gonna tell you the truth though, we're pushing higher. And there is underlying strength, but it's more like survival, you know. It's that kind of survival strength, not it's different. It's different. I was noticing in the 15-minute time frame yesterday, my cloud kept dropping down every time we was getting one of these moves down, and we were holding through here. And I did give you an update and say, hey, put that liquidity right here, because we kept hammering. You know, anytime you keep hammering something, you're likely going to come back up here and take it. So I've deleted it off of the chart here now, but I did let you know to drop that liquidity right here, because obviously we're going to come back for that. And then we're stepping with the higher lows in here, trying to find our way. And Asia finally pushed that sucker through. Asia finally did it. And here we are. Here we are. But there is some weakness in here. I just dropped a couple of raids in here. See if we're going to roll over. We're taking the liquidity out of the high side of this range now. So I do think that we'll get up here, take out that high. I've already shared with you what I think the scenario would be, which comes from the daily. We're still just kind of sitting close to that daily range in here. So, well, we're above it. We're above it. So this was our range from yesterday. This is us identifying what was happening inside of the range. I shared with you the point of control and all that good stuff through here too, if you're into VRVP, stuff like that. But this is the scenario right here. So the breakout, we'll be looking for price action to come up into this trend line right here. So this is one scenario right here, that it comes into this trend line here. Maybe we see a rejection there. If we don't see the rejection there, we also have the channel high, which is going to be here. So this is going to be another scenario. We got to see what we're looking like as we're pushing up into the area to really know if it's going to be ideal for the short, right? And then that was the second one. And then the third one is going to be above, taking the liquidity above our larger range, which comes from our weekly time frame here. That might be to tap into the channel right here, but we'll be looking for for the liquidity above the range to be taken here from the shorts that are in here. And yeah, that's what we're checking for. That's what we're checking for. This is the larger range right here, seen from the weekly. That's the same thing you just saw over there on the daily. So this is what I'm looking for right here. We'll see if we get that. We should not go further than that. Like I said, right now you can see the 20 SMA runs down the wall of this channel. It's up here a little bit, so it's not actually down here, but when we take a look at it here, we're just tapping into that standard deviation 1 again, actually slightly above it, because it's 72,128, we're 72,161, so we're slightly above it. That was what, I told you we got stopped out there last time. It would have been up a little bit higher because it was a perfect little tap into it, but you can see the 20 right here rolling down here. So maybe it's next week that we can actually get into it. I don't know. I don't know for sure. I'm just, I just look at the probabilities and try to work with the probability of us doing that. And that's the probability for me. For me, that's the probability. So this all remains the same. And then from there we would see some sort of a rejection. But I'm still we this could still happen. This in here could still happen. But right now I try to stay focused on the fact that it was such it was a lot of accumulation right here. It was a ton of accumulation right here. A lot. So like I said, I don't think that we would get down here that fast. I keep it in mind, and I talk about it every now and then, because that's what you have to do. but it was a ton of accumulation that happened here. So we'll see. We'll see. Um, yeah, that's where we're at. That is where we're at right now. Looking decent. This is the 4 hour um, range to get above right here. We did that thing yesterday, which was, remember I said this, and you can see how we're back testing it as support. This stuff be interesting, man. I really love it. I really love technical analysis. It's so interesting. So we got that push up through there. The minute I saw this, I was like, okay, we did it. Actually, it wasn't actually the 1 hour. It's the 15 minute. I could tell that we had broke and we was about to just really push higher. But like I said, the tapping in here, you see something keep hammering, just like yesterday when I said we keep hammering. They're trying to go higher. No sense in playing around with that. And then the exhaustion came in, and we were expecting for price action to come down. Had a probability of it coming back. I'm sorry, we were yeah, right here. It's kind of hard to see from this chart. It had a probability of it coming back to the trend line. We ended up determining that we had to hold here. We had to hold here because if we didn't hold here, then yeah, we would be breaking below the previous day low, which was down here a little bit lower below this point right here. So yeah, that was everything worked out great once we put the numbers together. We figured it out. We figured it out. So just waiting, just waiting. Increased volume here. Okay, increased volume, but still not as good as over here. It's early. It's New York. It's New York right now. Um, we had a little swing right here, like from this top over here. So we had a swing fail right here, but you can see all of that. Didn't do much. Ended up putting in some bullish divergence. Oh, what I was about to say to you, yeah, just put it on. I don't think that's the highest point right here though. They trying to stop me out. Boy, I tell you. Won't let me be great. Just let me be great because I did not mean to add onto this freaking position on this account. I was trying to use a much, much smaller, little small account that I've been working with, trying to bring that little account up. Jeez. Hmm. Yeah. MACD looks really strong on the 1 hour time frame. Now there is again some slight weakness in the move to the upside. Um, Overall strength, some weakness, but like I said, it's kind of hard for me to explain. Like I said, it's like survival. Like you can see underlying strength, but it's not the strongest. It's like I'm not giving up. It's crazy. Um, I do believe we tap out before we get up here though, and then more than likely we'll put in some more bullish divs and then continue this move up. Then continue this move up. Let's see. It's like right here. So you can see like a difference in the strength that came through here as opposed to what we have right now. It's not the same strength. It's like yesterday. Um, like you could see how, I think it was at this point right here where we started to see that lighter green come in right here. And then you start to get the push down, and everything else through here was kind of weak. So we'll see. It's still trying to push up. I need to move. I'm gonna let it stop me out. I just let it stop me out. It got me. It got me. Oh nope, nope, not then. Hold on. Then I'll show you how I screwed up and added to this freaking position, and I just got stopped out. But nope, 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 not yet. I swear it's like $1 or something off from me. Oh my gosh, it's so crazy. That is so crazy. I believe I will be toast. How did I do that? Oh gosh, how did I do that? Oh. That's like the third time that I've accidentally added um, onto a position and unintentionally. It's early. It's early. So we've broken this range. We do have a little slight bear dip as I put it, especially on volatility. Um, Here though looks pretty decent. Let me show you. Let me hide this volume for now. Oh, it's letting me hang in there. I'm telling you, it's letting me hang in there. It's down. It's down because, like I said, I added to it, and oh, Hirsch, showing my little sad face. You know how it gives you a little sad face when you're in a losing position. And I promise I was not trying to do that. But that's it right there. It moved my position down to it actually moved it down to right here. I cut it most of it once I realized what had happened. And so yeah, that's what's happening right now. Uh, okay. What I was gonna say is QTD. I kept seeing the cloud do this little drop thing right here. Now initially it did this, and this was us getting that move down here into this position right here. That was cool. That identified that. Then we started doing this dropping right here, which is just launching price higher. And although this looks decent, it's still a slight weak. And I can say it's weak because the white line stays so close to the top side of the cloud. That makes it a bit weak when it does that. It's up above it now. Cool. No bear dip in terms of this indicator right here, which I really rely on more than anything. This is going to show us bull dips overall. So you can see the bullish divergence right there. Um, Yeah, I gotta stop that. No, yeah, I definitely gotta stop that, guys. No need in fading it just yet. No need in fading it just yet. MACD diverging a little bit as well. Maybe one of those things where we have to wait and see. I'll put us on the 1 hour. We're deep into that 786. I could have moved that up for this 786, but I really didn't. Wasn't gonna move it anymore. I already screwed it up. So yep, stop that on that. Geez, now I'm forced to look for a short, which I wouldn't have been sitting here talking about the short per se. Forced to look for one now. Again, we got this liquidity that's in here. Expect for that to get taken. And if we're still diverging on the move up, then that'd be good. That'd be a good spot for it. See how we do around this 786. Everything looks pretty decent. Have you seen the MACD on the daily time frame? MACD for the first time is it's close to crossing above the zero line on the daily time frame. It's had to put in some work, but it's really close to. I think right now it's like a negative two hundo and something. So it's really close to crossing above the zero line. It makes it less corrective. So I'm not looking for a V-shaped recovery in here, which I'm gonna wait and let it chop around a little bit or something. Let me just see how it's gonna do right here. I'm not gonna rush because I just got stopped out. I'll let this 1 hour candle close right here, but I'm not over trading or anything like that. Um, looking good. Bitcoin looking pretty good. Looking pretty good. Look at how cute that little W is. It's so cute. And the symmetry on both sides. Hmm. So you're gonna have that liquidity that's down here. Eventually we're gonna come in and get this liquidity. But right now, I changed it to white and we tapped into liquidity. That's what I do there. There's really nothing in here besides this 786 um, prior lows, which we tapped plenty enough to down here. We tapped plenty enough that we were able to push through more. So I think that we will get up here. That'll be it for this. I'll take half out of the current, the other long that I have still open. I'll take half out of that, and that's gonna be it's gonna be this one, which again I explained to you. Let me slide this one out. Which I explained to you, it was just slightly below that point right there. So I will take half out of this, and then if it, because I've already taken most of it out of this position anyway. Um, so I've already taken most out of this one. So it's still open. The rest of it is still open. And then I'll start to take from that one. A little bit more. No, yesterday I told you that if I was going to take a short, if things look right, I would take it right here, or I would take it from here. And it started to look okay, but I did not mean to add it onto my already existing short position. So that just screwed me over, which it was going to come up here and get me anyway, right? That's what I believed. So I don't think the 15-minute could last all the way up here. It's just not. It's just not. I mean, if we could get a God candle or something like that that pushes it up through here, but it doesn't look like it will last. It doesn't. It doesn't. 786 might do it. But given the context of everything, it might mean like the short would probably just be a scalp. You never know until you get into it what it's going to end up being. And looking for another long might be the solution here. So if we came back in, let's see how much they would want to take out this right here. Because if they took that out, then they would need to use this as support. This is what we were hammering yesterday when we got the breakout. So back test onto this would be the ideal place. Unless, like I said, they went ahead and they pushed it through, and then we'd be looking for it to come back and sort of try to hold these prior highs right through here. Let's see what that would look like. I'm gonna draw a fib. and try to gauge it. I'm going to do it off of this trend line right here. And let's see if they were taking what was above here. Where's my 6.5? There it is. If they were taking what was above there. It's kind of close to this, but not exactly. So if they were taking, if we were turning around from here, see that lines up with what I'm looking at right here at this level. Have to back test right here and hold here. Got the ascending at the momentum, well, the demand line right here. I would say that this would be the demand line. We would have to hold this right here. This might be your point right here, this 786. Then I'm just wondering how they feel about taking out this little. Might be nothing. This might be nothing. It could be one leg. Yeah, this would have to be the holding point right here. So maybe we can get something there. That would be my thoughts. Because where I just did it wouldn't make sense. Let's push it up a little bit higher. Let me see what that is. It's like 75.409. 75.409. That looks more like the flag on the daily time frame. Looks like the flag high. So we'll see. We'll see. Hope everybody's doing great. I saw oil last night getting ready to get a little bit of a correction. It started going sideways instead though. Let me take a look at that real quick while I'm waiting on Bitcoin at this 786. It's just sitting here. It's just sitting here buying some time. MACD diverging, bear dips on MACD, but still up. MACD still up. Why is this looking weird though? That's weird. Let me click off of it and then click back up. I don't know why it's looking weird. I'm seeing something a little bit different. Let me make sure. Yeah. Oh, I don't know why it's looking weird. I'm on the 1 hour time frame. That's why I was like, why is that looking weird? Yeah. Let me draw that same fib over here. Put this on the daily so I can do it. Ugh. Turn that one off. That could be an inverse fib too. Look at you. Look at your Bitcoin. Yeah, 15 minute ain't gonna be able to go too high right now. Not right now. It doesn't seem possible. It just doesn't seem possible. But you would take your chances in here if you wanted to get short. You would really be taking a chance in here. I suggest looking for the long instead. I want the short, but I gotta sit down right now. Mhm. Yeah, definitely got bear dips here on the 15-minute time frame. Even right here, but like I said, yeah, you got bear dips on volatility. You can see it from the bands as well. You got bear dips here on the MACD. You can see this right here. Uh, so definitely got bear dips here at the 786. Like I said, you can see it from the Bollinger Band itself. Actually, no more you can't. No more you can't because it's in expansion. So my bad. No, you cannot see it off the Bollinger Band, but it does state that it is really overextended. That's where you tend to get the X's at when it really gets overextended. X will come in, but sometimes the X will fade. I just want to be transparent. Ain't no indicator like the end all be. See what I said? No indicator is ever going to be the end all be all. Price action is going to be the thing. Um, but we're at a psychological area of resistance. We do have the bear divs. Okay, so 20 SMA does run a parallel to this trend line right here for a potential break that would put it down here. See if we get that. We'll see if we get that. See if we get this down to here. So if we start to consolidate through here, put in another range, something like that. In fact, let me just push this up to here and see if we do hold this as a range. It's a very tight range. It's very tight. With the 76. I now know that this is the 786. So with that said, I'm just going to I'm gonna hide it because I can still use it, but it's in my way right now. So I know that this is 786. All right. So what I was gonna say is oil. Tracking oil yesterday, and putting in bullish divs, putting in bull divs. Maybe it can come down here to this trend line and then bounce because it is a parallel right here. So maybe it could come back into here and then continue to push out. You can see where it did have a change in momentum right here. But like I said, it's putting in bull dips down through here right now. And back test rejection showing right there. I'm going to switch this out. I'm going to do this like this. I like that. bear div right there, a little bit of a slight bear div. So I'm gonna check GTD, just kind of see what we're looking like in that. I can tell that line is sitting somewhere around that cloud because it keeps putting in those sell, 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 sell. Oh yeah, it's getting a little bearish. It's getting a little bearish, a little bit. Even though I can see that under the bull divs down there, you can see that pop up right here. So it's getting a little bearish on the 15-minute time frame for oil, crude oil. So if it doesn't hold here, then you have a little bit of a problem and you start to roll over. I switched. This was about the only liquidity really. I was really trying to see in here, which is towards that prior support level in here. Got plenty up here now. I don't think oil cares anything about this, but I'll do it anyway. Alright, so I don't have a range on Bitcoin. I just noticed it. But everybody in here is still chilling, I'm sure. You don't have a reason just yet. Not yet. Even with all that information, we still have to patiently wait or get chopped up. All right. Let's take a look at the 1 hour. It's not looking too cute. Not there. That looks fine. So yeah, we'd be dependent on crude oil if you were looking to trade this right here. You'd be dependent on either this channel line right here holding somewhere right in here between that channel and the top side of this blue box right here, or next option would be somewhere right in here at the low, looking for that to hold that support again. This is going to work. Double top right there. 1, 2, 3 pauses right here. Okay, old gap acting as resistance possible. All right, I'll come back to that. So I don't have a range here. Just delete that. But I do have, we'll see. I'll let this candle close. Could be an advanced block right here. Advanced block tend to do this right here, where you get a little bit of a correction in here. See if we see that somewhere else too. It's a little different, but I would have initially been looking at this as an advanced block right here. Advanced block is what actually got me this short right here that I had took. It's an advanced block right here, but it was, you can see the advanced block right here. So it could be an advanced block that'll send us down. It's a common pattern in Bitcoin. So anything that's common, I kind of watch for it. Still 786. I guess I can put it back in there since I don't have that range. Still 786. Let's see. The key is going to be price action closing below the low of this candle wick right here. So it needs to close below here. Um, Preferably, the body would look similar to this one, where you have the wick at the top that'll show exhaustion from the bulls, exhaustion from the bulls right in here. Even though we can see some other things that insist that it is, we have to see it here in the candlesticks as well. We don't have it in the candlesticks, we ain't got it. Oh, I don't even have my music on today, which it sucks anyway, but something. I need something in here. Minutes. Might be. Mm-hmm. Just not. All of it. I already cracked this one, so I had to crack this one. Cracking this one down, but so kind of already still got this resistance level in here with the highly resistant green. Still be amazed on this. Probably it's gonna be crazy. We're once we do get above 50 right here, which we're not there right now, but that's gonna be crazy if we do because people who are overly bearish. I don't want to be overly bullish either. I don't want to be overly bullish either. But people who are overly bearish will get hurt. You know, we break out this channel. Anyway, looks like a bear flat right now. Still, it don't look like one on this time frame. It look like one on the daily. It doesn't look like one on the weekly. Not on the weekly. All right, you know what? I'm gonna put in small. Put it on my other account. Put in a small little long. I mean, short, 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 short. Small little short, small little short. This is a challenging little account that I have over here. I'm gonna do that though. Get it just right here, just right now. We did not close below this candle, which would have been, that's what I like to look for with an advanced block. I like to see it close back below. We didn't do that, and that's fine. It's just not that pattern. That's what that means. It's not that pattern. Which would have gave me more confidence though in my pursuit on this short right here. 1 minute. Um, really not concerned with this because this is very, very challenging account right in it. Um, it won't be any sort of a major loss on this right here, regardless. So I have not defined my stop just yet. That's the truth. It's bad to take a trade and not have to define stop. I'm just being transparent with you in terms of what I'm doing right now. I don't advise you do that. It's pocket change right here that I'm trading for. So I can always replace pocket change. To get my stuff done. That improbable. These don't always match. Second here, those hits. All right. I'll make my stop at the 7th way to stop that and stop that. So this is what I look like. Um, and kind of just do it right here. This is my plan. I don't know what this plan is. If you're lucky, if I get something like that somewhere here, wherever this trend line is, because I can't map it out. I can't. There's no real reason for me to pay this. So, but just trying to capture the exhaustion. And like I said, it's a small account, so it's nothing serious for me. I wouldn't take this if I were you. Yeah, I wouldn't take this if I was you. Just don't do it. Don't do it. I think we're still outside of standard deviation. Standard deviation two, which means it's really strong. It hasn't even come back to one yet, which is makes it a lot friendlier. It comes back to one. Right now we're trading in the pocket, which is bullish. So don't be like me. Sorry, I don't know why I still got this on here because it's not an inside range. Door, door, inside range. I don't know if you noticed. I did. I wanted to see what IBIT was going to do around this 41 right here, but right now it's doing nothing. Um, 42 yesterday was like the expected move. Look at that. And of course, that's what we're trying to get to that liquidity out there, right? This is the expected move right here in terms of where it was yesterday. That's the expected move getting to that liquidity up there. That's what we have that long set up for anyway. Um, let's see about that. Now, if it does blast through here, if you're a ETF trader, it does go through there. The market makers will likely use this as resistance at 43. They'll likely use that as resistance. I think this is like the next highest. They have plenty of liquidity around 43 and put it like that. Plenty of liquidity around 43. I think, let me just look at this thing. Yeah, plenty of liquidity around 43 for them to play with. We don't have that much. It wasn't a ton right here. 41, but they have plenty of liquidity right here to take their reposition themselves right here. Just wanted to see this right here because this might actually hold up. That would generally be a wall for it. Generally be a wall. Maybe it's say 43, right? Say 43. This is up the wall. 43 is at 43. The expected move was at 42 yesterday. That was different. Mm. Max pain is around 40, at least yesterday. Max pain was around 40. Is that what we're looking at? 49. Max pain was around 40. The black picture gap. Killing them. I mentioned I wanted to take a look at him, and then I happened to see a short clip from Crypto Phase. So he had actually already talked about him probably like a week before or something like that. Because I was looking at it and I told you guys that I would, because the question was asked if I trade stocks, and the answer was yes, but I mainly just do that. Not, um, not on the brokerage. Not on the brokerage. So it has to be a tokenized stock. Otherwise, I'm straight up an investor when it comes to the stock market, and I only look at things that um, maybe a max seven, something like that. I will step outside the max seven, but it has to be. I choose wisely when I choose stocks. I choose wisely. So my stock account, it excels my crypto. Like crypto has been ugh. And trading, if you're a trader, the market is here to take your money. If you're an investor, then you're doing good. If you're trading, you're here to lose some money. Period. But I said I was going to look at it, and then when I did take a look at it, I had already had something um, that I was reviewing. All right, as the oil getting a little bit closer to our channel line. Not trading oil. Come on, Bitcoin, let me be great. Mhm. Back on that 8 hour. My 8 hours. All right. While we tussle right here. Um, on new candle just open. Let's see. Let's put this new candle. Let's see. The indecision right there. On low fan. Doesn't look like that here. Tell us a little bit more. So how it's A new 1 hour open too. Bummer. Bummer. We are still diverging. This market's gonna do what it wants to do anyway. So we are diverging. But it doesn't make it reverse. I need two time frames to line up. We don't have two time frames right now, at least not based on the ones that I use, which is usually going to be like 15, 1, 4, daily, weekly, monthly. It's usually going to be those right there for me. And I don't have two that lines up. I have 15 minute that shows some exhaustion, but I don't have another time frame that confirms the 15 minute time frame. So I don't want to look at anything lower than the 15 minute time frame to um, to, to give me um, two consecutive exhaustive time frames. Looks pretty good. All down through here looks pretty good. I can get that 1 hour to agree with that 15 minute. Then we have more of a move. But right now we only have one time frame showing some sort of exhaustion. Can't tell it from that RSI, that's for sure. But with two or more gather in my name. What the word? Oh, I didn't tell you, Hims disappeared off of the I guess as a top stock to watch. It disappeared yesterday and we'll hit resistance. But it's still gonna be worth a look. I really didn't do a whole lot of I didn't do a whole lot of tracking on that. I just looked back at it and I was like, oh, okay, I was looking at something in here beforehand before earnings came, and it had actually broke below that level that I was watching, and it's back around that level now, and that's where the resistance is coming in at. As it chops, it is within a range. You can see it from the daily time frame. But three might be above head and shoulders on the lower time frame. But again, I really want to see if I can get 15 and 1 work together. That would be great. Make both of those count. Needs to close below said candle. Be the hardest thing to do, you know that. Wait for something to close. Would have been like right in here. Need price to close below said candle. Didn't close below that one. Didn't close below that one. Well, didn't close below that one. That one didn't go below that one. Didn't go below that one. Didn't finally close the low. I think we got more of a move. So close below. Okay, no closure below over here. One closure below right here. That was dead. Close to potential support. Come on, baby. Why crypto? Good morning. Good morning. Did you take that trade? Did you take a trade yesterday? I hope you did. This right here is not the best trade right here. I was explaining that. So if you're seeing this is not the best short position. Um, but I'm using a small account to take this trade, so it's not anything damning for me if it doesn't, it do whatever it wants to do it here and it won't affect me, which is why I'm making sure I'm transparent about it not being the best setup. I didn't wait on any sort of confirmation. You guys know when I was the best trader, I didn't understand technical analysis. Isn't that crazy? I used to love to see capitulation candles. I jumped my behind right on in there. Like it was when you think you understand stuff, like it makes it harder for you. And you don't understand anything, boy, you be nailing some trades. Cause I don't know. I guess you trading without fear. I trade with a lot of fear now. I don't care how good the setup looks. I do trade with a lot of fear. But before I understood anything, it didn't matter. I would hit that buy button quick. And for a long time, I would not trade with leverage. Um, what's his name? Um, what's his name? Something daddy. I can't think of his name right now. But anyway, he inspired me to get into leverage trading because I would not do it. I understood it was dangerous. It's not crypto daddy. It's something. Crypto daddy. I remember my very first loss was on OP. Yep, it was on OP, and I think I lost like I didn't lose. I mean, it was enough for me, but it wasn't. I was okay, but it was $1,100. I lost on that trade with OP, and after that, that's the most I ever lost in a trade. That's the most I ever lost in a trade. But that was my first L. Come on, Betty. But I lost a lot with like like most other people. We had the whole Terra Luna and all of that stuff, and we went through that. That was bad. That was bad. I lost a lot there. I had just moved one of my best trades into Terra Luna. It was actually AVAX. I bought AVAX. Um, I put 500 in AVAX. My little 500 turned into 10,000. I took 10,000. I put it in Terra Luna. And then right shortly after that, Terra Luna started to crash. I didn't think much of it. I added more money to that Terra Luna position. And so I ended up losing even more. And then, of course, I was on what's the exchange? I can't even put the name right now, but then they went Voyager. Down. Voyager, yeah, Voyager. I had a lot on Voyager. Then Voyager went down. You didn't even get back half of the money from that, so I took a big loss there. And it hasn't been the same ever since. All right, let's see. A little bit more we can finally showing on the 15 minutes. Just a little bit more, tiny bit more. It still looks good. Some extra stuff in here. Let's see if we're getting any raw devs already. Not yet, not from there. Probably something else, but seems straight here. Hopefully, if this house is still good, that's the indication. That's what it really starts to get a little different. You see, truly, set us up for here. And that claw, baby. Look at that claw. A little bit of momentum being lost. Just a little bit of momentum. A little steam. A little steam. Let's look at that touch. Change structure somewhat with 24 time frames. Probably. Oh, in London time, London session. All right, London. Send it down. Send it down. See if we chop in here like we did before. Serious. We did to the close to the candle right here, which I mean that's coming from a lower time frame. Like I said, we really want to see something line up in the higher time frame to support the 15 minute. Oh, I'm quiet on my mic. Oh, is that better? I had turned this down yesterday, watching something, and I turned it down. So I apologize. Thank you. Thank you. Gold, 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 gold. Got my eyes on it. Um, so gold. We're talking about this counter trend through here, which none of this is actually played out or anything like that. But we're talking about this counter trend. I was also talking to you about the fact that the weekly time frame tends to bounce off the standard one right here. So I'm still looking at the possibility of just maintaining a counter trend. I know that everybody's looking at this and they're saying it's a bear flag, and it can very well be a bear flag, no doubt about it. Last time I did this, I did it on silver, and it did not. I don't know where this would end up being if something like that were to happen. If it line up with something in here, then yeah, so it will line up with this 20 SMA on the weekly time frame. That could be about. So it's going to be weird if it actually doesn't hold this standard. And that's when you know you're going to be a bit bearish because it's been holding up above this. Like it has not broken down below the standard one just yet, not on the weekly time frame. And it's been that way since somewhere. Where was it? I put it on the weekly. I can tell you a lot faster. Since we got, I guess, since we got this breakout back here, so about August, I would say. But for the most part, it's been in between the 20 SMA and the standard one since this run up right here, which was back in February. So around about the start of the year, last year, this is held up. So over a year now, this is held. So for it to not hold anymore, for it to not hold anymore, it's gonna be something a little different. But in between here and down here at this, that matched up. So that could be it. That could be the target right here at the 786. 786. That could be the target. I mean, we would swipe over this. Um, this I only had to adjust that here recently because it was adjusted for this drop. Um, yeah, so I mean, this isn't as reliable anymore. That matches. Yeah. So prices bounce from here and here for over a year. Well, yeah, for just over a year. No, a year. A year. Just leave it at that. For a year, it's bounced between that and here. So I'll be watching that, and we'll see what's happening down here if it comes to it. I don't know what that's gonna look like when it happens. I was just gearing up for it. That's all. But that's what that looks like right now. It's a probability. I just know this trade is dead. But anyway, I took the long on silver around the top within that little consolidation. I got stopped out. I got stopped out. My stop was right here. It's dropped below and back tested it as resistance. And voila. It's, I don't typically trade it, and I decided I want to play with it that day. So I don't know that this right here is going to work out. We had already talked about this. It looks exactly like looks exactly like gold and change that to white. Just gonna double check. So that's a perfect tap for a line chart. Just want to make sure I do that line pretty decent. Yeah, it's a perfect tap for a line chart. Up here, a little bit, a little bit. Mm-mm. Mm, it's not the same. But the larger picture is here. It's through here. Let's see if I don't want to hold that. The larger picture is through here. So I really have to take this line out, this wick out. And I'll have to go off of this right here into these drops right here, which is already broken down below this and reclaimed. So I don't know. It's a flag still right through here. Maybe I have to do it from the top. No, the top don't like me. It's different. I didn't like it, so I'm just gonna take it off. I don't like the force. I like the force something. But I can see that it's the counter trend, counter direction, which tends to break down. But we'll see. Just keep bing bonging around right there. This did not get hit, which would have been a measure move for the range that was in here, which would have been right here. Kind of slightly missed that. I'm gonna go ahead and delete that. I understand the reason for taking it. It don't look all that great right now. It's still holding up. We got the it's a P there. That line like that. That's crazy. Oh, okay, from the daily. Duh. It was from this. So that's holding. And again, could look for a bounce off of that trend line, or if it breaks it, it's probably gonna end up somewhere down there towards the if it's into resistance, probably end up somewhere down here. It's gonna be a sad day for metals. Sad day for metals. Let me label this. Confused about why I drew a trend line. That tells you I don't even be messing with this stuff. I just do it for other people. Okay, we hit our trend line. I didn't even look back at that. We hit our trend line on oil, just a channel low. We got an immediate bounce off of it, but now it's really about whether or not it's going to hold. Like I said, if it doesn't, then we could come back down here towards this low right in here. That was the that was the best opportunity right there. If it is going to hold, then this right here is obviously get eaten up at some point. But that was your breakdown right here. I know when I looked at it yesterday, I think my ribbons were also like trying to flip right there. Yeah, ribbons were flipping right there too. That's why I looked at it. So that could be the holding spot. Let's see. Then it come back up. See if that'll be a rejection point or not, or if it comes back up here to the top side of this channel. Just continue to do that until it breaks out on one side or the other. Hopefully that'll hold. If they don't, you're looking down here. I don't think anything changed in the news. Or it's just a 15-minute time frame. Too. For everything that's supposed to be moving crude oil, you would think that it would perform like gold did, like, but it doesn't. It's this thing that oil is well, you can be up one day and oof, be somewhere crying the next. I don't trade it, but I'm here for it. People would freak out. um, no, I'm not streaming on multiple platforms. I do need to do that, but no, I'm not. I just do YouTube right now. I do need to. I need to do exactly what you said. I've just been very hesitant about it. Oh my gosh, you got busy and lost it. Why crypto? Yeah, gotta have a take profit and a stop loss. Not saying that when you lost it, you didn't have a stop loss. I'm just saying it. I used to take out 50%. Now I take out 70 off the rip because a lot of the trades when I take them, I take 50%, and then at some point the market just comes back and takes the other 50, and I got tired of that. So it's like, okay, you can get 30 now. You will not get 50 anymore. So off the rip, I take out 70%, and I hope the rest of it does something. Yeah, yeah. That's been helping a lot. But I do have my effort moments too, where I'll enter into something, and then it'll be like I know this is BS, and I'll keep getting stopped out, and then finally I hit my effort moment was like, you just gonna have to take my money when the market takes my money. I do have my effort moments. Yeah, I'm working on my mindset. Possible. Um, it's possible. We I think they might try to keep pushing it over the weekend. I think they might try because the daily the daily is pretty decent. Um, like I was saying, that the MACD on the daily, uh, it's attempting to get above the zero line, which is going to be the first time in a long time I've been above the zero line since back here. So it's been inching its way up, trying to get there. Once it gets above here, to be less corrective. Maybe the next move down. Next move down isn't going to be anything major. It may not be anything major. Put it like that. It may not be anything major, um, given how much recovery the MACD has had to do. Um, but we'll be watching for that right here. We'll be watching for those. This has been a topping point. This trend line here has been a topping point each time. There's something that can be added. This came from May 22nd. So May 22nd, 2025, started marking reversal points. You can see this is the first touch. This is the second touch right here. So mark the reversal point. Came into it right there. Marked the hugest reversal point right there. Came into it right here off of this bear flag and mark the reversal point. We'll see how we do once we come into it again, because coming into it again could mark a reversal point for Bitcoin. But in terms of the drop now, just looking at the MACD, it could be a little bit different. I don't think that it does any of. I don't think it's as harsh as it was there. But I definitely, if you're watching the stream, I would mark that rejection point out right there. It's a daily time frame, so you might just want to postpone whatever your decision is. I mean, maybe you take it immediately when it touches it or something like that, but the other option would be to just let the daily candle close, zoom out, see what it looks like on the lower time frame, something like that. But we'll see if it wants to continue to do that. Say reversal point here, reversal point here, major reversal point there. And of course, these are the two lines that created it. So it's really hard to say what these two lines are here, but this was the no, it wasn't. It was back here. My bad. That line to this line created it. So yeah, reversal point there. Bear deals right here, but sometimes that happens. Yeah, so it's been working. It's been working. It's been working. Definitely. Let me show up. I'm trying to write down. Let's see. My bad. My bad, because I told you wrong. It's November 11th of 2024. Dang, that's a good line. Ooh-wee. That thing has been calling some tops. I haven't been using it. I'm telling you to use it because I haven't been using it. I've taken some shorts. I took that one as well. I did one of those things where I add to it. I did not short the top up here. I know that, and I know I can't sit here and lie about it either. Even though I knew it was a top because we hit our trend line up here. I mentioned it on the stream, but I was still wanted to long. I wasn't taking shorts too much. Took a short somewhere in here, but I wasn't wanting to take shorts. I know every stream I was like, I know people getting tired of my behind because I don't want to show nobody no shorts. Uh, a good line. That's a forever line right now. That is a forever line. That'd be like too many people talking about. Nobody talked about that line right there except for me, as far as I know. But too many people have started talking about the weekly situation or the monthly. It might be the monthly, and I don't have that on. And I've talked about that too. I'm gonna talk about it now because too many people talk about it. You know how that goes. Everybody on it. I don't want to be on it. But right through here, we talked about the potential SFP down here because the SFP here, the SFP to here. I do mine sideways like that. I know most of the other people doing theirs um, like a slanted line. Nah, I do mine like this. I want to see that SFP. That's what I got. I got to see an SFP. So the SFP here, SFP there. Those were two. When we had this one right here, you really didn't have um, much to go on. But either way it goes, it still was a reclaim back above there. You could say the 50% trend line as well. You can say that. But I like a nice little SFP like that. But our momentum has been turning into trash. Trash. We're a long way off from this looking like this though. We're a long way off from this right here. It's all the way up here right now. It needs to come down like that. Be closer. Come down like that. We're not there yet on the monthly. So just chill. Just chill. Shorts from 74, 76. Yeah, somewhere up here. Somewhere up here taking that high. This one right here. Somewhere around this area right here. Yeah, we get into that liquidity up there. This is just a quick little. I'm looking for another long position. Um, Figure out play around with it right now because everything is still pretty strong. That continuation to the upside. Yeah, shorts will be somewhere up in here, taking out the liquidity to here, possibly hitting into the right here, possibly hitting into here. But we're going to get a pullback first, at least off the lower time frame at the 15 minutes. We'll see some sort of a corrective move before we get there. So I will be looking to take a new long entry. And if it's not going to be here, then we would just simply again extend up to here, look at whatever's going to happen right in here at the parallel. And then, of course, after the parallel, if we keep pushing, I know that I'm looking to get back to the top side of the channel, which is going to be in line with that larger range. So market makers looking to take liquidity above this tight coiling range that we've been in. You can see that 50 just kind of sliding down through here. At some point, this 50 will slip below price action, like so, like that. Like I said, you'll understand the look when it happens. Uh, it's like that you better behave what your mama would give you if you were showing out. I'm used to seeing it. So at some point that will come into play. This is all the way up here, so again, I still would be looking for this to relax. Otherwise, it would just be a push back into it, some sort of resistance. But every time you're going to get that, you're going to get that. So I think we were talking about the death cross last time. That's the death cross right there for me. That's the death cross. But yeah, you'll get that blue line right there. It will crawl up under price action. It is done so every time. This is a weekly time frame though. weekly, like I say, bear in terms of a bear flag, you don't really see it here on the weekly time frame. Like we can connect some lines the same way we get on the daily, but it really isn't the same. It's not really the same. Uh-oh. Here's BT dominance. We will be looking for this to lose the support level. That's here. Let me just go ahead and slide these out. We have held the support through here quite a few times right here in this zone. So I'll be looking for this to actually break below here, break down from there. We'll see how it performs. If it taps back into this, it'll be the inverse to what Bitcoin will be doing, as I just explained it to you on that daily time frame for Bitcoin. And if it loses that, then I'm going to be looking here um, in this zone right here, but I'm going to be looking at this trend line right here. That would be our third tap according to here. That would be our third tap as we are in an ascending broad formation, which is a bearish formation. And we know that Bitcoin on the weekly time frame had a breakdown below its ascending um, formation. We get a lot of these in crypto. We get a lot of these patterns right here, especially Bitcoin. Very common. So watching for this. If we do lose the low in here this time and not manage to hold it, you can see we held it there. We held it, but we lose it. Now check the trend line, check how Bitcoin's behaving at that trend line as well. And then I'll be looking here, and either it bounces away from here. I don't think that it reaches all the way back up here. It should pause somewhere in there, and then I'll be looking for the breakdown. Even if it takes out this high, it shouldn't be coming back into this trend line right here. It should not. I wouldn't expect for them to say what I should be saying, but it shouldn't. It should be doing. But it's just something I'll be looking for. When something doesn't return to a demand line, it either has strength or it has weakness. If this returns to this demand line, it had a lot of strength to get there. I want to see that. Just like on this side right here, if this doesn't come back to this demand line, then it has a lot of strength to reverse. So I want to see this get back to this demand line, and then at some point I want to see it break that demand line, not have the same buyers sitting in here. You can trade USD if you want to. I'd rather see it not and roll over. It probably wouldn't get too much further if that did happen. A lot of support right there, just like pretty good support in there. We'll see. We'll see. Let me check on my VIX. Oh, that's him. It's in a range. You can't tell it. It looks like it broke it. It didn't. It had to be on the daily time frame to really see the range that it's in. But I don't even know if it's going to close like that. But I just defined it initially when I was looking at him. So I was looking at this as a support level. I had not looked back at this chart since it came up in question yesterday. And it dropped to the next area of some pretty good liquidity, which is down here, which is where it got the bounce from. I turned them blue if I wasn't looking for them to be liquidity places anymore. If it pushes up, then I'm looking for it to get resistance somewhere around the top side there, about $35. So that's what I'll be looking for on hymns if you are in hymns. Nice little rejection here though around this. I guess we'll find this with the resistance now. But nice little rejection there. As long as it respects that line right there, I don't think anything of it. I want to see my VIX. See what VIX is looking like. It's like people are less afraid. I'm just looking at that structure right now. Let's see what the stock market must be doing. I said I was going to take this. I think I actually looked at this on the 15-minute yesterday. I was looking at this. Heck yeah, I sure was. Because I was looking at the break here. I could see that it was going to bounce somewhere down here. And I said I was going to take this, and I didn't. I'm just not thinking about it. And it's just now trying to break above here. But um, yeah, it just crossed my mind just now. Thank goodness I came over here to look at it, but it's a little bit too late for me now. I was looking at the ribbons yesterday, and I was just looking at how they were swooping. You know, like I said, you see that look, like you recognize that look when you recognize that look. And I wanted to take that. So I plotted my little trend line in here, but I was going to take it early. And I really couldn't trade it on anything because BTCC let you do it on the hours. You have to wait till the market opens. I don't think I saw them close. Well, let's see what happens through here. Maybe it comes back and it's a little hard over right? Yep. My bad. Oh, yeah, I was checking that out yesterday. Yes, I'm gonna get in on this. This PUA. This PUA. All right, this is dragging on. It hit a little bit more weakness in here, but we still just that structure was kind of cute. It's kind of cute. I don't think I really got anything in here to take. Set myself up for it. Messed up my short, man. Messed up my short. And like I said, I closed that out and I shared that last night. That I said good night and I was completely out of this right here. I didn't want to. I didn't want to still be in it. Let me see this flag. 5 minutes. The flag right here. But we did. Mini can still swing up here, back above. See how it swept the liquidity from the low of that range right there. You might want to come back up, sweep again, and then put in the correction. But we did finally drop below our standard one. So a little tighter in here now. Pretty good. Good. Come up, swipe it again before it pushes to returning to the mean, which is this trend line. push 70 out, that means and I will attempt to short again if it does come up here and take this high. I will. If it takes, I mean, if it takes me out of the position anyway. Do it again. A little premature, but not looking for much. Not looking for much at all. Let's check on. Yeah, I know. It's the weekend call. That is not what my friend said. Bitcoin at 200,000. Anyway, yeah, like the old metal cousin. I'm the one that usually nags him. Still 786 for anybody who don't know. 786 cap. You can see volume has been declining in here a little bit. Um, so a little divergence on volume. I don't think we really have any in terms of here. No, we don't actually have any in terms of here. Um, holding our high. We're looking for this. Yesterday we talked about it. We did a back test on that. Let me delete the one down here because I really don't need that. But what I do want is an position. We're far off from that, so I know we're not done. Often because yeah, just watching that. I would love for this to fall back over here, but I know we're not done. Not looking at that. Got our new 4 hour candle open. We were talking about the fact that we were above and we still are above, so we broke in here. Um, let's hope if you're bearish, it's an S&P. Otherwise, we grab that liquidity in here. Then the next one is going to be at the top side of the range, which is going to be right in here. So right now we are above there, 731. Yeah, Bitcoin's been a little bit of a bully. I can see we're getting overextended too on that 4 hour. We do have bear divs on volatility. Do have bear divs on volatility. Um, but aside from that, it's good. What I'm looking at right here, this is slightly um, extended. It's really hard for me to talk about this right here, but there's a little something happening here. Doesn't make it bad. There's a little something happening right here. It's too early. It's too early to really get into it. Something here. Try it again. So if it comes up and stops me out, I'll re-enter. If it looks right anyway. If it's like, girl, short that thing again, that's what's going to happen. And I will let you know why I can see the 1 hour short support. And again, you want to at least have two time frames that agree. The lowest I care to look at is the 15 minute for my actual decision. So if I'm watching 15, then I wait for the 1 hour to support the 15. I'm not going to look down here for support. I'm not going to look at low time frames. I'm going to look at something in here to support the idea. It's 8 o'clock. Right. Nothing really changed from what I said earlier or yesterday. It's basically the same. I expect for the liquidity above to be taken. At least that's my opinion. That we will get up in here. We will take that liquidity that was over here. Um, I just think that the 15-minute is going to want to relax first, which in that case, you will be looking for a long opportunity, right? You really wouldn't be looking to short it, but it doesn't hurt to look for a short because you never know what it could lead to. I don't know what's going to happen once market open or throughout the day or whatever. Right now, I just know it favors the upside, and I would be looking for the liquidity above here to be taken. So it's actually liquidity above here. I set it low enough to for my starting point of that liquidity being taken. But that's what I would be looking for overall today for that to be taken. And again, like I said, I will watch the daily time frame. I will look for price action to push into the top side of this structure here. And if it does push through, and I don't want you to be like, anyway, just be able to do that and just look for another cap somewhere in here. Like I said, that 15-minute is going to it's gonna sleep for a little bit. It may not be much, but it is showing exhaustion, and it's gonna cool off here. Um, so that'll happen. That would happen first, in my opinion. I can't guarantee it. It's not, you can just decide it wants to blast up and go for the liquidity before it decides it wants to take a pause. Um, that's not usually the case, but I'm not trying to be right. I'm trying to be profitable. So that could be the situation. To the downside, I will be looking back towards here for some sort of support. Really don't want to. This first momentum line right here, demand line right here, this can be broken, and that's fine. They can take that right there, and they probably will, unless you can connect another one through here. Right now, you don't have a reason to draw out another one, but they can take that. This is the one right here. Is a little bit more. Um, want to see that stay intact. Once this will stay intact, that would at least, I think when I looked at it, was that like a golden pocket? Let's just say, like I was saying, if it was to reject from here, that would have been the, just make sure. I think I drew that. That's probably what happened. Um, so that's the pocket. Breakout took place. Really, I suppose I really don't want to see it lose this trend line right here. Rather hold that. That's going to keep structure intact. Quality is down here too. So I want to see it hold in here. If it does roll over, we definitely want to see it hold it in there. Or we doing something a little bit different. Yeah, don't want to see those things get taken. So, right. Also, go back. I think this was, let's see if that lines up with the old golden pocket. It's down there too. Let's say, because this could work as an inverse, but again, I don't want to, I want to be all down here. Not if, not if overall it was a continuation. I can tell you what's going to happen first. I can just tell you how my brain is thinking about it. This is just that here. Just try that here. And just draw your fib. I mean, if it blasts through here and it doesn't show any pause, I'll just put a fib on it. Um, I would do a 382 as well. Because if you bounce away from the 382, you're hella strong. I don't really think we came to a 382. Yeah. 382 would be right here where I said I would take 70% out at. Haven't done that yet. So taking the liquidity. Let me just push that up a lot higher. I'm just gonna do it to there. Okay. How long is over this? I guess. It's just not gonna be able to tell me that it's 15. It's gonna cool off right about now. Mhm. I just can't be convinced. And I got my stopping place for here, but we had a talking point for 15 minutes. And if 15-minute blasts through here or something like that, I'm going to my big account and I'm gonna load up on the short on that because even though I think we can go higher on the higher time frame, I just don't see it for this 15. I just don't. I just don't. Just don't. It ended up trapping some longs in here. It'll probably give us some liquidity to come back into, of course, because that would be the intent of the higher time frame, pushing higher. I will update this on X as the day progresses. You'll probably get tired of me. I will update it there. You gotta, if you're doing this again, like I said, uh, if you want to, it can. But if you're doing this, I wouldn't consider anything to, be exact. Like I said down here, like if I had not have taken the position after I saw that second candle come back down here, I wouldn't be in it. If I was just sitting here waiting for it to tap this trend line perfectly, trend lines can be off a little bit. I try to draw them as good as I can, uh, and include what's necessary, which is usually the wicks, The only way I take the wicks out if I can tell that the wick was just a liquidity grab. That's the time when you want to take your wick out. If it's just a liquidity grab, then you don't need to use that wick. Um, it might be useful later, but sometimes you just want to take that out. Um, but yeah, this is what we looked for yesterday. It's close enough to it, and it looked like something that do your own research. Just be able to make an informed decision. I know we break this one. I know we break this one. Let me check on these ribbons again. See what we looking like. But we tapped this multiple times, so I know the liquidity below this trend line will get taken at some point. If we come back into it, that liquidity will get taken. So I'm gonna 70 out whenever or if we get here. If not, and it pushes back up, then I'm gonna re-enter in the short position. That's what I got to tell you right now. But it's past 8 o'clock. I love you. I appreciate you. It is the weekend, so low liquidity. You know how that goes. But again, if anything comes up, it'll come out on X. If there's a reason for me to do a video um, tomorrow, I will. Uh, Probably to look at a position like I did last Saturday. I just give you the blueprint for a position, not financial advice, of course. I'll look at it. I'll look at it and see how I see it. But that's it, man. Love and appreciate you. Still going. Still, still holding up a little bit. What's the Asia low? Oh, Asia low. See how Asia did that thing? I think I might have. Let's see. I raised this liquidity up a little bit. But you can see all of that's going to be up for grabs at some point. Probably not in the near future right now, but at some point. At some point. Let me see if the shorts is green. Not really. me just see what happens here. Then I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go. Screen just there. I didn't realize that wasn't showing, but I did share how I determined what my stop was going to be, which was just on one of the range that we had right here. So if we came into that, then we'll just exit. And my stop was already in place. I did it on both ends. I did it from here. Just like that. Anyway, I'll let you know what happened with me right here. Until next time, enjoy the rest of the day.